Bama is the big day. What up, Cornelius? Welcome back. Walkie bakey. you better be lucky I can translate at this point. Did it help? Today's the big day, right? Woo! Wacky Wednesday. My neighbor's already on some next shit this morning. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we freaking go. But is anyone surprised? I'm not. Yeah, it's like your morning starter. Sets the tone for the day. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a photo. They're just so cute. Hold on. Oh my gosh, they're just the cutest. Oh, little babies. Oh, they're just so cute. Oh, little babies. It was a cardinal couple, a boy and a girl, and he was feeding her, and I was like, let me grab my phone before I miss it. I should have threw it on live, but it was through the patio, so I knew it wasn't going to be as great with the screen. But they're so cute. Love them. It was like in one of the bins that I won at the auction. I knew it was going to be a good bin because I see a cardinal framed photo. And I was like, oh, this is going to be the bin. Like, I just know. I listen to my intuition, y'all. I don't be sleeping on it. And it was the bin. I got some good stuff in there. Good times. But I swear it's Meatwad, which is my boy Cardinal's name. The girl Cardinal, I have not named her. And I feel bad. She needs, like, I don't know. Meatwad is from Teenage Hunger Force or some shit from Adult Swim. Used to love it back in the day. Pretty hilarious, but I can't think of any of the girls' names on there currently. It's been moved to Tuesday. Next week? That's like 6 days away. Maybe that gives you a little bit more time. Maybe you can get some meditation sessions in. And then someone hit I went to my hidden list the other day because I had wondered, literally yesterday, I had wondered if I hid someone instead of timing them out. No, they're just being a little brat and got butthurt that I timed them out. And I'm like, well, don't say stupid shit and then you don't get timed out. But in general, most of the time my timeouts are playful or just like a grounding moment for all, especially like anyone that's a mod. But I went in, leave it. I went into my hidden list yesterday, y'all. Man, that shit is packed. I was like, oh shit. But somebody hid Polly. I don't know what Polly said, but Polly's actually pretty cool. So I don't know who that was. But I saw Polly's fucking face on the hidden list and I was like, oh shit. I didn't know how to move people from managing to standard. And I actually, like, I counted my mods because I was curious on how many mods I had. And I would like to move people, but I don't know how you do that on there without, like, removing them as a mod. You have to go back in and retype their name. I don't know. 5:15 a.m. Polly, your ears are burning. Speaking of, yeah, Pooch leave it. They were like wrestling each other, but you know, sometimes we get a little crazy with that. How's it going, Ricardo? You're at the Southwest Airlines though? That's early as fudge. You're back. You're back, Polly. You're lucky though, because I don't ever go on the desktop like that. But I had an inkling. I was like, did I hide someone that shouldn't have been hidden, or did it happen like accidentally? I thought it was somebody else. And I was like, I've been meaning to check that, and I finally got on there yesterday. I was like, let me go on there and check that. And I was like, oh shit, Polly got hidden. I was like, oh, look at Polly in the hidden box. I'm like, what did he do? It could have been a fluke. Press what name? The profile name? I just I was a little confused with the standard mod versus the managing mod. We talked about it the other day, and there's not really a huge difference, but I wanted to switch some names around, but there's really not a difference, and I didn't want to remove anyone. And then I don't know, some of my peeps don't come in like every day, so I'm definitely not removing any of the core people that I modded, but I feel good. Like I don't have any regrets about my mods. That's something good, I guess. On one of your chats, you saw him? Where was he? It better not be when my chat was going on. No, I'm just kidding. He can do what he wants, because maybe later, right? That's hilarious. Yeah, I saw your name on the list, and I was like, is that it just said Paul, though. It didn't say Polly. And I was like, your profile picture stands out. So I was like, oh shit, what did Polly do? I was like, last I checked, Polly was giving me some tiblets. So I don't know, but that was when the dangler was floating around and shit was popping off, and I think everyone was just getting hidden. What? Let me make it clear. Hypno, I think it's Hypno, right? Hypno is the one that saw the dangler, and Polly was right behind him. Everybody else was just in La La Land, So I was like, oh shit, I don't want to hide Polly, but I don't know if shit fucking got chaotic in the chat, and the mods were like, hide everyone now, or I did it on accident with my fat hands. I have no idea. No, no dangler. Yeah, why do you feel compelled to share, Polly? I don't know who hid you. I missed it in the chat. I would have gotten to that. Because if I'm vibing with people, and like sometimes maybe you don't vibe with my mods and stuff. I mean, obviously, whoever runs the channel has the ultimate control over the situation, but I do really, for the most part, back up my mods on what they decide, because we all are on the same page for the most part. But yesterday, when I saw your name in the hidden category, I was like, oh shit, Polly in timeout. I played around like a couple weeks ago, and I put someone in timeout for just making jokes with me. Like they're like bantering, cackling, giving me a hard time. But I just gave them a small timeout, and they got butthurt and never came back. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I was just kidding, y'all. So I was not sure if I hid them, and I thought one of my mods was being a little turd like a month ago. And I was like, okay, we don't say things like that. And which is a lot for me to say here, because I don't care what you say. I mean, we make jokes about all kinds of stuff, but what I'm not going to do is have like creepy things being said, have people fighting with one another, and then like making anyone feel less than. These are like common sense rules, but oh, I saved guidelines last night. I was like, oh shit. Did y'all see guidelines when you came in this morning? Oh, hold on. Hold on. Okay, just kidding. No, Bama. You sitting in the tree with the dangler. Both of y'all just hanging out. No, you're gonna have like a million messages deleted. Thanks, Polly. That's awesome. Yeah, you're like a fountain of knowledge. No, I was vibing. So when I saw you're lucky, man, because I really don't go on the desktop to do none of that. I wouldn't say you're lucky, but I did feel bad. I'm just being funny. I'm not like you're lucky. But I did feel bad when I seen your face on there. I was like, oh my god, Polly's in the slammer. I was like, damn, what did Polly do? I was like, that must have been a fluke because the last chat we had, it was cool. I was just kidding, Polly. But that's funny. I like mentioned you this morning. Here you are. You're like, my ear is burning. And my back to chat. Did you tell maybe later? Honestly, it was like Bama's ass. I'm just kidding. But I'm not, because Bama doesn't fuck off. You say anything sideways, you could be in the slammer. And let me paint a picture of the slammer for you. It's literally a dark abyss with a bunch of danglers. Ain't nobody want to be in there. Well, I mean, not nobody, but this isn't like fun dangler town. This is like a bunch of fucking weirdos in there. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, I thought Polly was cool. I'm like, damn, he get a wild hair? I'm like, did you hide Polly, Bama? I'm like, there be some valid points sometimes. But you and Hypno were looking out. Like you literally like Bama, Hypno and Polly right here in the chat literally were the ones that caught the dangler. Nobody else caught the fucking dangler. And I was like, damn, where's Bama? Because Bama would have been on this shit. I'm telling you, Bama, they got them small little danglers in that profile picture. And they be getting you. Because all of a sudden you think it's just like maybe a tape measure or it's like Tom's profile picture, but not. No, it's okay, ma'am. I'm not holding it over your head. It's fine. I was just happy to get him out of there because I was like, oh shit. Everybody else stayed though. I'm like, you snooze, you lose. I had like 400 people hidden. I know that ain't much, but it honestly was a lot. I was like, oh shit. I scrolled through and make sure I didn't hide a couple. Well, the one person I thought I hid, actually two people I thought I hid, and then I saw Polly and I was like, oh shit. No. All right, Triple D. God was looking out. Yeah, he was. I literally seen I already said this, but I literally seen your profile picture and I was like, "Oh my god, he's in the Dangler jail." I actually didn't even see the Dangler and I was just scrolling through. He's definitely in there. But I did see the little bastard that made the profile picture, took my profile picture. They already changed it to something else now. No, Bam, I was sunburned. I was laughing so hard I couldn't even breathe though, because I done got trolled. What was even funnier about it is that everybody else got trolled too. Like, I wasn't alone. Except for Hypno and Polly. They got those supersonic dangler eyes. They like honed in, like, oh shit, that's a ball sack. Never a dull moment. That shit really made me laugh. You know what it honestly reminded me of? I had this badass bus driver when I was a kid. Miss Amanda. I loved her so much. She kept it fucking real and I had her as a bus driver for a couple of years. But I remember one time there was like no kids on the bus and like my best friend was riding home with me and like meeting the bus driver. She had already met her before, but it's like literally just me, the bus driver. There was this other girl that I kept in contact with years, and there was like a couple other girls, but it was all girls, no boys. And Miss Amanda was like, girls, this is how you know if you're old enough. If you see a dangler and you start laughing, you're not ready. That's literally what I thought of when I saw it. I was like, oh, I guess I'm not ready, Miss Amanda. Guess I'm not ready. I've been good, Polly. I've been kind of like going back to normal schedule, which I'm all over the place. So I say that in a weird way because I'm like, I don't know if it's normal, but I've kind of like been kind of regrouping from this past week, buying stuff at the auction, trying to flip it, make some money because the money goes around. You got to keep making the money, and always soul filling. How about you? Now that you're fresh out of the DJ. Yeah, and I'm sorry about that. I was like, oh shit. Did maybe later remember you? He's cool, peeps. He's probably so asleep. A different time zone. How'd what go? The auction stuff? Adult chores, those are a blast. Groceries is like exciting, but it's always better when it's over. I feel like he has good memory, so probably. He has like I don't know, random humor. I appreciate it. Yeah, the auction was good. I actually got a shit ton of patio furniture. This girl tried to outbid me, but ended up winning. It was great. Because I needed some additional patio furniture. I had a couple, but I was like skeptical because a couple years ago I had this little bastard take mangoes and braid them into my patio furniture. It was a blast. I'm like, wow, great. 20 pounds of ribeye. Holy smokes. You be eating them ribs, boy. I ate lamb as a kid. I ain't about it as an adult though. It's probably because I was a hungry kid and just would eat anything. So you're clearly not a vegetarian. Bama, don't be making no song up. I'm gonna hear you on the country radio and shit. You're gonna have like a zillion deleted messages. Let's see where you're at, Bama. You got 8 deleted messages. No timeouts though. You doing okay? You don't want to go into the DJ, Bama, because they ain't playing music in there. They're playing music with some other instrument. Oh, and sushi. Do you make the sushi or do you buy the sushi? Sushi's expensive. It's definitely way cheaper to make, but I saw a sushi board thing at this random thrift place that I never make it to. I want to go back, but you really have to be like in a digging mood because it's not organized at all. But I saw people going in selling their shit to the lady, and I was like, okay, good to know. Yeah, I like to eat salad too. I've been throwing the spinach in my smoothie, y'all. I'm gonna try to stick to it every single day with the smoothie. I'm gonna switch up the ingredients a little bit, but I'm digging the carrots. I did the carrots, Polly. Yeah, skirt skirt. Yeah, you don't want to be in charge of the danglers. Oh, you buy the sushi. I know all sushi rolls are like different, but you got a favorite roll? You like sushi, Bama? I actually used the peeler and I peeled a lot of it because I was like, that's probably the safest move because I would be so upset. We're not going to manifest none of that. But if they were smaller, on the smaller side of the carrots, I just like chopped them up small, yeah. But most of it I peeled. I did like 3 carrots yesterday in my smoothie. It was great. Did some strawberries, bananas. I have this granola stuff, my protein. I threw in the protein because I have chocolate protein. I wasn't sure where it was going to go, but I've been putting spinach in there. When you blend it up, spinach is making it look like chocolate anyways. So I threw the protein in there yesterday because I was like, I still want to. I always take my protein, but I was like, I'd really still want it in the smoothie instead of doing it on the side. But it actually was pretty good. So I'm gonna play around with that. It didn't do any coconut milk yesterday, and I definitely was missing it. Oh, baked salmon, the spicy tuna is fire. I love the little crunchies they put on it. Oh yeah, they'd be like, get them out. They probably honestly have like a cult, mama. And I'm only deleting that because I'm not encouraging them. They come in here and they see that word and they're like, yeah. Or maybe they don't because they're dumb and they got like one brain cell, but. Oh, like just spinach, banana, and protein? Oh no, I need more than that, Polly. I've been a barista half of my life. I'm just kidding, but I was a barista for a long time, so I'm like, nah, I need a little bit more. I said this on my live a couple lives back. Do you guys know that when you make a milkshake, you don't use ice? That's where these stores be jipping you on the prices of their drinks, man. They be putting the ice in there and pretty much destroying the drink. It's still good, but definitely way better without. So, Bama, what are you going to do for the next 6 days? Oh, damn, Bama, you got to remember, when I get on my other phone, because I used my old phone this morning, I got to show you a picture of this, something I found, and that's literally what you just said. That reminded me of it. I made you a mom because you my ride or die. And I know you ain't gonna let anyone come at me sideways, so I always appreciate that. And so I can see when you come in. Duh. Hold on a second. Oh, I already knew what time it was when I made you a mod. I ain't new to it. I already knew. But you're like literally my first mod. Okay, Polly, I can dig it. I can dig it. What other channels do you go to? What do you like to watch on YouTube? I don't care about their feelings neither, Bama. We on the same page. Little some bitch. I have to show you what I found though. It's perfect. I just can't green screen it on this phone because I have the photo on my other phone. I still feel like one day I will have my own little coffee shop. So I really should be writing down recipes. But most of the time I just roll with it. I'm like, what am I feeling? And that's what goes in the blender. You found this channel by scrolling? By doom scrolling? That's how you found me too, Bama. Do you even remember? Bama was like, oh no, she needs help from the danglers. Bama was like, you need a mod. I was like, what the hell is a mod? Bama done taught me some things, y'all. Roadie. I feel that, Polly. I feel that. Good vibes, you know? What up, Roadie? How's it going? Bam was like, I saved her. Aw, thanks, Polly. I'm crazy. I'm like a mixed party hat. Good luck. Y'all have been warned. Y'all just keep coming back. I'm just like, oh shit. Do they like me or they think I'm crazy? Probably a little bit of both. I'm like, where's Tommy Pickles? We need to summon him in. I seen his comment this morning and I need to respond. Or I saw it last night. I need to respond. I was like, wait a minute. I'm gonna need some clarification, Tommy Pickles. What up, Rhodey? What you been doing? You still alive in the machine work? Oh yeah, okay. And men are saints. Yeah, okay. Okay. Y'all make us crazy. No, I'm just kidding. We were crazy regardless, but y'all make us crazier. Getting ripped, tater chip. I think you answered this though, but is Anna coming from Vietnam? Polly's like, don't put me in the DJ. That's what I'm gonna call it, y'all. Code name, you know? Even funnier when someone gets sent to the DJ, I'll be like, send them to the DJ. And they're like, music? And I'm like, little do you know, there may or may not be music in there. What the hell? You ain't saints. I know that much. Polly's like, yeah, I don't know about that. And Bama's like, yeah, we are. Send them to the DJ. Oh, okay. So what state is she in? Is she in the States right now? Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Have y'all been talking on the phone? The bum bowels are life. And the bun sales. I love bun sales. Oh my gosh. Tear them up. No more turtles. You saw the sign, boy. No turtle release in the pond. I gotta get in the office soon. I need to cut up some more collage pieces. I'm almost through this bin that I was working on for a while, but I was cutting for like, I felt like months straight. It was probably a month straight, and I was like, okay, I can't do this for a little bit. I need to switch it up. But I haven't been back, and I need to go back in. I have some people, and I'm like, I need to stay stocked up. I hope they're not in the turtle face. I'm so dead. Turtles are his kids, Polly. I'm like, you don't want your kids, your niece is having kids yet. That's cute though. I saw the cutest little turtle at the beach when I went. He was eating flowers when I rolled up, tried to get a video of him. And he was like, girl, I ain't eating those flowers around you. You just appreciate what you saw and you ain't getting it on camera. But I did get a couple videos of him. And he was like looking at me like, are you done? And I was like, okay, I'll leave you alone. No. They're like, what is DJ? That is forever an inside joke in this bitch. It's hilarious. I think Mela felt bad that he let it slide. I'm like, it's not your fault. I let it slide too. They done got my ass. I was like, okay, said hi. But I promise you, those said highs hit different now. I'm like investigating, sitting here with a microscope looking at these profile pictures. I'm just not, to be on one phone and to be on another one investigating every channel is a little much for me. I just roll off of the vibes. You start to get fucking weird. To the DJ you go. It's like the, what, it could be the Dangler Dungeon Jail, DDJ. Yeah, stay away from the danglers. I almost had turtles at one point. My marine teacher would give me extra credit in class, like to clean out the turtle tanks. And then at the end of the year, she tried to give me the turtles. And I almost did. I think about her sometimes. She was fucking crazy and she was mean as hell. And then I started doing extra credit and me and her started bonding. I was like, oh, you're just lonely. I understood at a young age that people had things that made them the way they were, you know? But she was mean. Oh my good lord, she was mean. But I always wonder about those turtles. I literally, when I think of turtles, I think about those turtles. They're like, I don't know. They're easy to take care of, but at the same time, they're not. But they're cute. I have a bunch of different turtles out here. I have like so many videos on my phone of turtles out in the back. They'll come out here and sunbathe in the back sometimes. It's like the cutest thing ever. But if they hear you, they dive back into the water. Yeah, I mean, they may very well be. I'm like, oh shit, that was like a hot minute ago. It depends on how old they were. And I don't know how long they live for. I know it probably varies. My uncle in Jersey used to save them off the side of the road and shit. Yeah, some turtles do live a long time. I think it definitely has a lot to do with nature, their upkeep if you're homing them. I always felt so bad for the little turtles that they would sell at like the Oriental markets and shit. They don't do that anymore here, but they did for years. And they would like literally stack all these little turtles on top of each other in like a little like saucer, and they put like a tiny little umbrella in there and make it seem like scenic, like they're on a beach. And I vaguely remember like a little chair. It's wild, but it was always so sad. But a lot, it's just like fish. It's actually, I feel like, worse than fish sometimes when people get turtles because they don't realize that they need a lot. Now I wonder what that teacher's doing because she was already pretty much up there in age. I kept in touch with my English teacher. I talked about this a live ago, but I kept in touch with her, and unfortunately she gained her angel wings last year, and I was fucking devastated. Like, we literally would talk all the time, and she was a Taurus too. And when I was a kid, I didn't know she was a Taurus, like. And it full circled for me later. I was like, oh, no wonder, no wonder. For soup, oh my gosh. I really don't know what they did with them. I mean, I was just at that Oriental market a couple weeks ago, and they have it set up completely different now. Like, it's like a new owner and everything. So a lot of the shops that were inside the shop had closed, but they would have them all on the side, and it would always make me feel so bad. And they're teeny tiny too at first, so they're very like, oh, they're so cute, you know. But a lot of people really don't think about what animals need. Just get them for the cuteness of it, and then unfortunately starts a rehoming trend. Not always, but it is pretty sad. Sometimes I want to save the fish at the little Oriental markets, or fish anywhere really, that are in the tanks, since I have tanks and they're freshwater fish the majority of the time. But I know they would be nuts in a tank. I just feel bad. I went to I think it was Ace Hardware a few weeks back, and I had no idea that they had a little bait section and plant section in the back. Every time I've been there, it's like, I want to say it's never open, but I may just be going straight to like the dog area and the bird section, and I'd never paid attention. But they had little bait fish out there, and I felt so bad for them. I was like, I honestly want to get them for my tank, and the guy's like, they're not gonna live long, and I was like, probably longer than what they would live out here. And it was funny, there was a bird, I took a photo of him, but there was a bird that's a regular out there, and I thought he was a fucking statue, and then the bird flew off, and I was like, oh my god. And he was like, oh yeah, he's here all day. He's like, he does not leave. And I was like, well, throw him a little something. There's some of them that don't look like they're gonna make it. He's like, I gave him a whole bucket this morning. He's greedy. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, well, does he have a name? Because if an animal becomes a regular, you should give a name. Meanwhile, that just made me think of Meatwad and his girlfriend. His girlfriend needs a name, but I he was like Big Head. I'm gonna call it Big Head. It was funny, but I always feel for the animals that are just kind of being tossed around. Those are the ones that grab my heart the most. Thanks, Polly. Yeah, I know she's still sending me angel signs all the time, and she's stubborn as hell. She's like a Taurus that never, ever changed her ways. So she taught me a lot of things, but she was also my English teacher. So whenever I would type to her, I always felt pressure to be like on top of my grammar and punctuation. I'm like, oh man, but she kept me sharp, like with my tools and stuff. But I really wish I would have spent more time. Like, I look back and I knew it wasn't right. and she wasn't telling me how sick she was. I knew she wasn't feeling well, but I wish I would have like called her and spent more time with her. It's definitely a reflection, but I know she's always with me spiritually. You know, you have those teachers in life, and even if it wasn't like a school teacher, we have people in our lives that, hold on, are essentially like teachers. Hold on a second. I was like, what the hell? But those people stick with us, you know? Oh, I want to see it. I love hummingbirds too. I've never seen one in person though. Hummingbirds are so pretty, and you know that's an angel sign too, right? Yeah, I feel like we all had teachers like that, whether it's a school teacher or like quote unquote teacher, a life teacher. You know, those people are definitely of value and should be like appreciated more because none of our time is promised here, you know? So that's why I always try to like, I'm not perfect, but I really try to like stay on good terms with people because you just never know. You don't know what people are always going through. And I was genuinely shocked when I heard about her. I texted her, my teacher, I texted her, and I'm like, I'm thinking of you. Like, I really hope you're well. And I said a couple things that would make her laugh. And then her daughter responded with the news, and I was like, holy shit. And I'm not on Facebook or any social media besides YouTube. So her daughter was like, you didn't know? And I was like, no. I'm like, this is not the news I wanted. I am smart enough to know that life continues, but it doesn't make it easier gaining an angel. Like someone you can't like physically talk to again without on a spiritual level. Like, yeah, why was he special to you, Polly? Is the ceramic statue a bird bath, Bama? I also had a pottery teacher. I've talked about him before too, but I was skipped to his class. I wasn't even in that class, but I hated the class I was supposed to be in. And eventually he was like, you don't belong here, but if you can get a note that says that you can belong here, then you can stay. And I was like, okay. I was there like half the year before he even said anything to me. But this bitch tried to start some shit with me in the class. And I think that's what like really made him say something to me. Cause he was like, look, if you bust up this bitch's face in the class, you're gonna get in trouble, and you're not even supposed to be in here too, so you're gonna get in more trouble kind of thing. But I swear he was stoned every day, but he was a realist. Like he would literally tell you that your pottery looked like shit, and some people couldn't handle that, but he was just a realist, you know. But I much rather you tell me, and then I could like think of ways to improve, you know, because if everyone thinks they're fucking great when they're not, then where are we gonna go with that, you know? But delivery is important for the softer souls, you know? Oh, so you had him twice? He was like, I'm gonna hook you up, Polly. He's like, you're gonna run YouTube one day. I had an economy teacher that was really dope too. Like he was straight up. Like he was really funny and dry in humor, and the kids loved him, but he was also a jerk. I wonder if he still is around too, like working. I don't think anyone works at that school anymore that I went to. We're getting older. Not me, y'all. Just kidding. Yeah, all natural, Bama. Nothing else. You start doing all that other shit. You start tweaking and shit. It's like wild. Those type of things break my heart. Like driving by, or like you see people really really tweaking, and it makes you think like where their life went. I had an experience one time. My car caught on fire in a drive-through. I was freaking the fuck out, as anyone probably would. And I thought the shit was gonna blow. And literally, it was at KFC, y'all. I'm scarred. I've only been to KFC a couple times after that. And I want to say I was in the passenger or went inside because the shit scarred me. But I'll never forget. I was freaking out, and I didn't even get my chicken bowl yet. And the people in the drive-through were about to dump this water, like a big bucket of water, on my car. And this guy came running across the street with this chick. I'll never forget either one of them. Came running across the street, and he was like, "No, no, no!" And he was like, "Give me a fire extinguisher," and he put my car out. Turns out the guy was homeless, but you wouldn't have known that if he didn't tell me this. And he was like, I was used to be a mechanic, and he's like, my life went on a different path. I started making bad decisions, and he was like, I pretty much fucked up my life. And that guy stuck with me forever because I would see him from time to time in that same area because it wasn't far from where I used to live. And the other homeless people around, though, they're all pretty much addicts, sadly. But I stopped at this gas station one night, and I knew I should have stopped at another gas station because after certain hours at that one, it starts to get fucking weird. You know what I mean. And they even would lock up one side, and you'd have to order through the window, so that tells you even more of what it is. But I was like, I'm gonna stop because I don't feel like going further past my house and then have to turn back around. So I stopped, and literally he came running over to my car, and it was late at night. The same guy that put my car out with a fire extinguisher, came running over to my car, and he was like, "What are you doing here? You should not be here at this hour." Like, he was like, you need to go. And literally, all these, like, I hate to say jugs, but all these people, like, really fucked up. And my family has a history of addicts. I think almost everyone has an addict or several of them in their families, but I can kind of like sympathize to some degree. But if you try to grab my purse, touch me, that's not gonna work. But they came out of like nowhere. It was like out of the dark, right? And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I have a couple dollars?" Or like starting to beg me for money and shit. And I haven't even got out of my car. And he's like, "Get out of here, get the fuck out of here." He starts like telling them all to get away, and you could tell that they all respected him. But I ended up giving him some money because I was like, yeah, like they like flocked over here like no tomorrow. But I felt like that was the least I could do. Like, I was literally driving the same car again after I'd gotten it repaired from the fire and stuff, and he remembered me obviously. And it's just a very, very humble guy, just took a wrong path. So I always try to sympathize, but I also think that I hope he's not homeless anymore. That was a long time ago, but I remember the chick got pregnant, and that was even more sad to see someone out on the streets that's carrying a baby and stuff. But I think they were together. But I really hope he turned his life around. But I do think that people are led in divine ways to do certain things, and he was like helping these people in a different type of light. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but Obama, don't you start with that said high shit. I'm like, oh no, look at that profile picture. I cannot. And they say potheads don't remember shit. It's selective memory. I'm traumatized for life, y'all. Traumatized. Polly, give me another fact about YouTube. I was Googling this stuff too about what you said about the comment. I think you can delete it though. What, an excuse to have selective memory? It's crazy sometimes the shit I can remember and the shit I can't. It is selective memory. It's like selective hearing, but also selective memory. So, what are you gonna do on your first date with Anna? It gotta be special, yo. And if you don't know how to cook, probably wouldn't cook for her because she probably tell you straight up tastes like shit, you know? Oh my gosh, Bama, you need a calendar for that shit. You need to be putting it in your phone or actually writing it down. Because I know personally I'm pretty old school. I still write my grocery list, y'all. Believe it, I'm in the store like a granny with my grocery list. I'd much rather have my list out than my phone. And I'm definitely the type that will go to the store for one thing and forget the one thing I went for. So I definitely have to write it down. But anytime I write it down, I remember it even more. It's definitely an old school skill, I suppose, but it is pretty true. When you write it out, you're not only releasing things sometimes if you're journaling, but when you're writing things down to remember them, it does like engrave it in your brain more. It can't be for birthdays, Mama. Donate without a gift? Like, what do you mean? So you said the $2 thing so they could donate. But if they don't leave a comment, oh, you're saying like if they had a dangler photo, like as their profile picture? I mean, it's definitely worse. I feel like if they leave a comment, but I guess if they're leaving the dangler out again, that could be interesting too. So they've literally like found a way to finesse the system to be a fucking weirdo. Cool. That's crazy. I know there's loopholes to everything, but come on now. What's even wilder is that they feel like that's worth their money. Like, what do you get from that besides finding other danglers? Yeah, I put all birthdays on the calendar too. I'm pretty good with birthdays, but as I move along, I'm better at astrology signs. And once we hit certain months, I'm like, okay, this is going to be someone's birthday. Now, my core people that have been in my life for like a million years, I definitely am pretty good with the birthdays. But as I get wiser, I'm definitely better with astrology signs. Sometimes it takes me a couple times, just like names. But I definitely put things in my calendar. I put almost everything in my calendars, even when I plant seeds, because I have so much going on. I'm like to remember all these little things at times, but you gotta think with birthdays it's important because especially with kids, they remember that. And then, even adults, they start getting like, I don't want a birthday, but we all have one. And anyone that says they wouldn't want someone to at least say happy birthday to them and remember is lying because it's true. All right, Bama, you make sure you write it down in the Dangler journal, okay? You have a great day, and don't fucking call me that. You're gonna start something in here. You're gonna have like a zillion deleted messages. I can feel it. What are we at now? 11 deleted messages. And that must have been restarted. Until next time, Bama. Keep it real. Don't go to the DDJ. And don't call Dirk. Because he be dirking. Yeah, you'll have a YouTube record. I used to love that word, dork. I know you meant to say Dirk, but I forgot about dork. That was a good one. Don't be a dork. A little dorky. I summon you, Tommy Pickles. I know you felt it. And I read your comment. I haven't responded yet. I was like, oh, is this an insult to me or to you? Low people. I don't think that of you at all. And I'm like, I don't think that about myself. So I'm going to need you to put some little magic in the step that you give out, like you're good people. And I'm like, and I don't choose low people. Come on now. Anyways, how's it going, Tommy Pickles? I was like, I still like want to respond. I just was like, I don't know how to respond yet. Because I value my people. And I know that people on YouTube truly value you, not just me. So I'm going to need you to stop insulting yourself. Hey, I'm similar to that too. You can be an asshole. I can be a big old bitch. Get out of my way. Like this morning, my neighbor thought it would be funny as I was leaving to go get in front of my car as if he's coming forward to me. And I literally was like, get the fuck out of the way. Like, what the fuck are you doing? He felt so fucking dumb. And I'm like, and at first I didn't think it was him. I just was thinking, who the fuck are you and what the fuck are you doing, you fucking loser? So, I mean, I am totally like, what you dish at me is what you get in return. But I do try to humble myself and check myself in the sense that I don't like treating people like shit. But sometimes you're the teacher and sometimes you're the lesson learner. And I do value and stand by, I treat others how you would like to be treated for sure. But I never, I don't know. Like, people naturally should be themselves. And some people are, but I definitely think you're good people. And when I saw the comment, I was like, what? Wait a minute. I'm like, don't insult me, insulting you, insulting you, insulting me. Because we're not low people. And I appreciate your knowledge and your skill set and your wisdom and your laughs. Perry! There was a Perry in here yesterday. I was like, you're not the Perry, though. They seem cool, but I was like, you're not the Perry. I fucking didn't have my phone, but I was like, I should have fucking videotaped that shit. But I ran back my cameras because I was like, was that him? And it was. It was. And then I seen the fucking other one walking the dog after. Meanwhile, they were dropping the dog off. So I was like, you literally just took the dog out anyways. He does it to creep on people's house. Like, the whole reason why he got the dog. But I was like, wow, it was you. Like, that shit's not funny at all. Because we have speed bumps and stuff. So even if I were to give you some leniency and been like, oh, you were trying to cut through the speed bump, but there was no speed bump where we were at. They were coming straight on to me, and I fucking started swinging my fucking hands in the air, and I was literally like, what the fuck are you doing? And I looked right at him, and I was like, that's my fucking neighbor. Like, even fucking worse, because you're like playing around, and that's not funny at all. Are you gonna fucking pay to fix my car? You think my insurance is gonna pay for your piece of shit? Like, no. And I say your piece of shit. It doesn't matter what car he has. It was just like me being an asshole. Oh, don't get it twisted. You definitely get more flies with honey than vinegar, but you know, the bees don't explain to the flies why they go the honey and not the shit. So I constantly have to check myself here. Like, it's tough. Oh shit, really, Tom? Get a photo, get a video. I always think the opposite of black cats. They say that they cross your path and it's bad luck. I think it's good luck. And you like kitties. Go say what up. How are you, Perry? I will say that most of my people in here, I think, are like made to be assholes because of the world. We don't want to be, but sometimes you do have to check people because they be trying it. Like, I had some loser on the road the other day that was like pretending he had a gun and shit. A whole nother fucking story, but I like the people in here because they have asshole tendencies, but only if provoked. Otherwise, we're like teddy bears, like and I'm all about the sass. Like, don't take away the sass. Always keep the sass. It keep us witty and on our toes and stuff, but to be purposely mean to people when they didn't do anything is like when I'm like, okay, that's where I feel like I check myself personally because I'm like, all right, there's no reason to be mean, but don't put me in a fucking corner. That ain't gonna work. He's like, I'm on a mission. It was a boy. I knew you talked to him. He was like, where's the boss? I need to piss on his chair. That's cool. Have you guys seen kitties or animals at the shop before? That's your number one paying customer. I last year I went to this place and they had like security outside and shit. And the security guard was out there feeding. This made me think of that. Was out there feeding the cats, and I was laughing. Like, I'm a cat guy, and I was like, I can tell. I'm like, make sure you bring those treats. so they all have kittens? Little shop kitties? Oh, so you can technically see how big they get or what they end up looking like. That's cute. Who doesn't love a kitten? I used to be a cat mom, but honestly, they're fucking wild. I messed up. I had one boy cat. I had three cats. I had a mom, dad, and a son. And then the mom and dad went buck wild, became outdoor cats, and ended up running off, or I have no idea. And then the son never went outside, thank God. But years down the road, I ended up getting another cat, and it was downhill from there. It was like pissing wars and shit, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, no, no, no. It was a whole mess. And the girl, she came from the shelter, and she was malicious. She had like 5 names on her thing, and I was like, wait, which one is her name? But she was sweet as could be, and then all of a sudden it switched, and I was like, this is some wild shit. She corrupted my other cat too. It was pretty fucked. Yeah, but I also think that's just humans being jaded though, because if, like you said earlier, if everyone was being kind, then they wouldn't see those sides. Oh, I will literally jump in front of a bus for an animal before a human. That's for sure. I fucking chase people in the backyard. This one bitch was letting her dog try to harass my ducks. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I will report your fucking ass. Like, those ducks are protected too. So I was like, absolutely not. I almost had to cuss one of them out a couple days ago. He fucking literally is the same person. It's just the dude instead of the bitch. Literally, like, told his dog to go chase something up a tree, whether it's a squirrel or whatever, but it ended up scaring off a couple of the birds, the bigger birds out here, and I don't care if it's big or small. I was fucking giving him the most nastiest look, and he literally started trotting back on the trail because he was like, she's gonna fucking kill me. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm definitely gonna fucking curse your ass out and fucking report you. I should have reported them, but that's exactly what they wanted. They're part of the reason why the cops were called last year. So they're looking to make a rise out of me, and they're like, "Oh, we shut her up." I'm like, "You didn't shut me up. Absolutely not, but you're not going to take my fucking peace that I've earned here that you've literally stolen for years with your little buddy system." Whew, let me not get started, but I don't play around. Like, definitely animals will always get my calling. Like, even if I'm just supposed to get you across the street and you go back to doing what you're doing. Um, but I've had like many situations out here. I've called like the wildlife rehab people, rehabilitation people to come pick up animals that have been hurt. And I thought about getting my license, but there's several things you have to do, and there's a couple of things that I just can't do currently. So I'm like, all right, then maybe that's when I get land. But my mom was like that too. Like, I definitely got that from my mom. She lived out in like the woods. I'm talking about the woods. It's bigger than it's ever been now, but it's still out there. And she would have all kinds of critters, like Snow White, literally. And she would literally feed them before she even fed herself. And that's awesome. My uncle used to do that all the time. He would stop and save turtles. Some of them would be injured and shit, and then he would release them back. Thanks for stopping in, Tommy Pickles. I appreciate it. Keep loving the animals. Humans suck sometimes, but look, we all found each other here. We're gonna find some more cool people, and that's where it's at in the world. There's a lot of assholes out there, but there are a lot of good people like yourself. So, no coincidences. I'm glad we've connected. I like to comment on what I love about the people that I meet here and like why they're special to me. But I will say one of the coolest things is finding the witty people, because all of us have something to bring to the table. Some of us bring similar, different traits, the usual of what I say. But if like people are new here, maybe you haven't heard me say those things. But I honestly love that everyone brings different things to the table and similar things, but the humor really is beautiful. And I think that's why people here like chatting with each other, because we know we're going to get some laughs in. And that's something that we need more of in this life. Laughing and, lighthearted things instead of anger and sadness, a lot that the world already brings. So I'm always on a mission. If I can provide a happier place, a little corner of YouTube or the world or whatever, then I'll do it. Life is crazy as is, and we don't need to make it harder for ourselves or others. Little birdie. little birdies. Howdy. Like nobody in the bed, which is understandable. Nobody was here either. I don't know if I want to do orange or pink today. Maybe some orange. I thought it would be kind of cool to cut up some paper in like a different lens, quite literally. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Maybe a different perspective. So hang out with me, vibe with me, chat with me. Please like and subscribe. Be a good human always. And of age. Come on now. Oh, did it show you the guidelines? I like the orange. In the office, it kind of looks like funky in a good way. So maybe funky isn't the word, but it's like radical, dude. Quite literally. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut up some papers and make some collage pieces, turn trash into fun art. I need to go through, I'm almost through this bin that I was like almost done with, but I got so tired of cutting paper, I was like, alright, but I have some peeps that want some collage pieces. So I'm like, alright, let me round up some stuff. And it's always a thing because it takes up like the whole desk. So yeah. Welcome back, Polly. Yeah. Were you here yesterday? You were hidden. I went on after my live to check the hidden list. But I had pink ones on yesterday. Wow, that feels so different to take them off. Like I feel like they need to be back on. The pink is cool too. It kind of like pops in with this little camera. There's a little pink camera. It kind of like feels like that. But I think I like the orange better today. Pink was like riding the bike. I was like, I'm gonna have fun. So I have a couple of fun glasses. I have another pair. I'm not gonna wear those yet, but when I saw both of them, the pink and the orange, I was like, oh yeah. You know, I'm a Tennessee volunteer at heart. So the orange is like tapping into that. You were her. You're like night night. You can go back to sleep. That's okay. Are you taking a power nap? Is it the morning for you? Oh snap. The iPad needs some juice, y'all. Let me go do my job and find the bones for the dogs real quick. Hold on. Wow, the house looks crazy in this color. My bird's like, what the hell you got on your face? He's like, let me eat him. It's funny, I got these little, silly little eye patch things that, the women wear to rejuvenate their eyes. And I wore some last night after my biking and my live. And my bird was like, he was looking at me like I was crazy. Like he had never seen me before. It was nuts. I'm like, wow, I can't imagine. I haven't wore like a face mask in a long time, but he would probably be so freaked out. When I see face mask, I think of that movie. I used to love it as a little girl, and I always forget the name. But it had Mary-Kate and Ashley in it, and I always thought that Lindsay Lohan was a twin for a long time because of Parent Trap. But I kind of felt the same way about Mary-Kate and Ashley, but they were actually twins before they went. They're still twins, but they went nuts, you know. Bless their hearts, honestly. But I forget what the movie was, but it had one sister was with an, I'm assuming foster parent, maybe they were going to be adopted. I haven't seen it in so long, but I definitely remember like a lot of the movie. And then the other one was with like the dad or maybe adoptive parents. 'Cause I vaguely remember one of them being saved from a bad family. That's the part I'm a little confused about. But anyways, there's a clip in the movie and the is it the stepmom? There's someone in a house and they like walk by a window and they're wearing a face mask, but they look fucking nuts. I've always thought of that with face masks now. That was long-winded thought, but I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember a lot of the fine details. I just remember the ones that mattered to me in the clip, I guess. This is why I suck at movies. Really? Like the you know what I'm talking about? Hold on, let me get them. I have a little pack or a little pile that I got. They're like the little circle patches. The dogs are like snacking right now. I think they probably do wear them out in public. I've seen those crazy ones where they have like beams on their face. I was watching 90 Day Fiance or before the 90 days. I don't remember which one. I think it was before the 90 days. And they were having like a date night, like the chick and her soon to be husband were having like a date night and they were putting she's like the I forget the name of it where they do all the facial stuff. Esthetician. I don't know, but she had some crazy equipment, and I was like, "Holy smokes!" But you're still doing plastic surgery and injecting, so like, is it really working? Do you know? You know, I'm not judging, but I do feel bad for women that are on that path of like extreme Botox, extreme XYZ, because you're trying to fix something, and that's not. You're beautiful the way you are, you know. And I feel like it could probably become really addicting because then you feel like it's never enough, or you still maybe feel ugly. Like we all feel ugly sometimes, you know. Me too. It's fine, you know. But I don't think that we should go in and recreate nothing. If things happen naturally, and maybe you need a surgery for XYZ, like that's obviously different. I feel like you start tweaking with like who you are. Do you lose who you are? And people will be like, it's physical, but I'm like, is it? I feel like it's like spiritual and mental too, you know, because you're like telling yourself that you're ugly or you need these things that aren't like medically needed, you know. Anyways, yeah, you've seen them wear them. Yeah, I had them on last night. I haven't wore them before, and literally my bird was like, "What the?" He was looking at me so funny, and he says, "What?" So it's his timing is impeccable. He's like, "What?" So I just walked by and I have the glasses off, finding the bones for the dogs, and literally he was like, he's so funny. He keeps me on my toes. Like the dogs are alphas, but he's the alpha. Oh, little Cunny, it says angels. All right, I don't even know where I shall begin. I did get this really cool book though. I thought about like cutting it up and maybe make some collages with the pieces. It may be wild to some people that I would cut up books, but that's all I'm gonna do. I still have my coloring book over here that I never finished. I did get a huge Ultimate Atlas of the World book, but I already have another Atlas book. And those will be like very, very last to cut up if I do, because I really love Atlas books. Like when I moved around a lot as a kid, my dad would use a ginormous atlas. Like he would like pull it out in the car or truck or whatever we were in and literally scan. And then throughout the years, I remember he stopped using the atlas as much because he like knew me. I need a GPS to go down the street sometimes. I've seen men wear them before too, though, Polly. It rained for like 3 seconds yesterday. Like, kid you not. At first, I was like, that's not rain. And then it rained and then it stopped. Today, it's supposed to rain too. I don't like lots and lots of rain. Like, I can never be in Seattle. That wouldn't work for me. But I definitely, I can value rain, and the universe, like, needs a lot of rain. So, like, I don't know. A lot of states that are drier. I feel like everywhere's drier with global warming. Different story. But I think we should appreciate the rain because we need more of it. Wildlife, especially. Always leave water for them out there because, especially with the backs all dried up with lack of rain. The before and after pictures of it throughout the years is nuts to me. The first couple years living here, I was like devastated with how dry it would get, like land before time. And then they let things become overgrown out here too. Which wouldn't be so bad, but it does create like things that you don't want, like rats, coyotes, anything that's dangerous to wildlife, but could be wildlife. I'm trying to organize slightly over here. I haven't cut in a while, so I'm like prepping. I had to move the sewing machine over. And I like the spot, but I don't want to tuck the sewing machine away. I was really getting into sewing, and I'm still getting into it, but I gotta catch up on a lot of different other things. And when you're learning something, it takes time. You have to have, obviously, patience. Oh, this is what I wanted to keep out. Dang it. You have to have patience. And remember that no one becomes a master without being a beginner. And then you're a winner. The glasses are fun, though. I will say it does give me a different perspective. I don't want to fold this one. Oh, no. That's... no. No. I need to start having YouTube classes for the men. Y'all got your notebook out? Because at this point, it's how to never get a lady. And the lady ain't me, but in general, you ain't ever getting a lady talking like that. And it's wild on the internet, maybe you feel like no one will ever know it's me and I can just naturally be fucking weird. But if you go around talking like that in public to ladies, never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Or dudes, whoever. Well, maybe dudes will understand. But at the same time, even my dude peeps, that's weird. It's just weird. And I'm all about weird. Just not that weird, you know? I've seen worse, actually. So, it's like mild. Very mild. But don't amp it up. And now you can't because you're gone. Okay. There's a lot going on. fit in there or no? Put this here. I really like this one. I got this extreme magnet for the sewing machine, and that shit is extreme. Like, they were not lying. Like, I'm almost scared of that. I just won't say the rest. Okay. It kind of takes up like the other piles that I had going space. Trying to figure this out. It's like you have a big desk, it's great, but then you have more room for things, and it's like, no, I don't trust that over there. It seems that's the way to go. Like, I almost feel like I could never be in this room without these classes again. It looks so different without. It's like, nah. Go back. Random paintbrush. That had a purpose. Oh, that still does have a purpose. Let me put that back here. I was like, why was that out? Oh, yeah. Okay. Again, somewhere. I have a little pile that I create for my best friend, too. I always like find things for her when I'm cutting paper. I don't need this right now, so I'll move this. Right. I randomly had the song "Taking Care of Business" in my head. That's how I feel. I organize a lot of stuff, but when I do the piles, I just have multiple piles going. Sounds chaotic, but it works. So getting the piles out. No. I think this one will go back a little bit. spot. Where? Because the sewing machine has like a permanent home on the desk now. And I'm not moving it. Maybe I can put it over here. That's what I'm doing. All right, I need to. When you ask that, I'm like, are you okay? Thanks for asking, though. What up, Parches? Oh, did it? Thank you for answering. I asked earlier, but everyone zipped out. It's fine. I was like, is it telling me my guidelines? Read the guidelines. What up, Bunny? Bunny, did you read the funnies this morning? Is that sarcasm? Welcome to my chaos, where it is organized chaos. But it's fun. Here's a couple of the puzzles that I did on live. This was the first one I started. I love Care Bears. I actually got some Care Bear like shorts ish. They're definitely not my size. I could resize them if I wanted to, but I'm gonna make something for me and my best friend, like something matching, because it's not a lot of fabric. So I was thinking maybe like little wallets or something. Oh, what if I made like a little memory book, like with our photos in it? That would be cool. Just brainstorming out loud. How are you guys? No, he's not putting turtles in boxes. I think like he meant box turtles, or he puts them in a box to help them across the street. Because turtles are nuts. Care Bears. I love Care Bears. I used to have, when I was a kid, I had a massive Care Bear. I remember my dad got me a Rottweiler dog, a little puppy, and a massive Care Bear for one birthday. And that was a birthday that stuck with me for a very long time. You know how that goes. And I also had a Care Bear diary. And I remember me and my best friend, like her mom, like took me in as a little girl. Complicated story, share another day. But literally, we would drive back and forth to her sister's house, which was like 2.5 hours away, and we would drive pretty much on the weekend because of school and stuff. And we would go to wrestling shows. But of course, I brought my diary with me, and of course, I had crazy shit in this diary. Like 10 years old, you're going through it, right? I literally left the diary at her sister's house, and I was so paranoid that she was gonna read my diary. Man, we still laugh about the Care Bear diary. I'm like, burn it. I was like, girl, if you still do have it somewhere, burn it. Light it up. Oh, I missed that. Hold on. Yeah, did you see the terms? Did you read the terms? Or you just pissed through it? Like, what did I do? You used to always break the sewing machine? Man, you ain't touching mine. Mine was a gem for 20 bucks. Like, wow, I've seen a lot of them since I've gotten this one. I really lucked out. Ten birthday. Wait, what? People do think it's a sales pitch. You are right about that. I will say that. I don't think so. But I can see where people do think so. But when you ask, like, are you okay? Like, I almost think personally where it's like, wait, are we okay? Is everyone okay? Anybody crying out there? Let me know. We'll work it out, you know? That's how I feel. But I picked up that's just what you do. So I try to not like jump to like, are we okay here? You know? Yeah, good picking up. I tried the pink ones in here for a second and I don't know. It needs to be orange in here. I'm gonna cut up some mixed media, make some collage pieces, and I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to have like a color effect to the office because obviously the office has a lot going on, you know? Oh, you just pissed through it? Damn, I guess it's kind of pointless to have it then. I've seen other people use that, but since I was on the desktop last night, saving Polly apparently, I found an inkling to go on there to like check my hidden list. And I'm glad I did because Polly got hidden. I was like, I don't know who did it. It could have been like Happy Fingers. It could have been a mistake. Because I'm like, I don't think Polly said anything wrong. Polly was being helpful. So I'm glad I did. Because Polly came back and he's like, am I back? And I'm like, yes, you're out of the dungeon. Get him out of the DD. DDJ. That does sound like a jail. I'm dead. I'm so dead. But yeah, I helped clean out a house several years ago and I got a bunch of mixed media things. And I like collaging and I like helping my friends out with collage pieces. So I do spend some time doing that, but I've taken a big break, so I'm going to go back in. I have to donate a couple days to this week for sure. And it takes time. Usually just build a pile and then go back in and actually cut it nicely. But I forgot what I was when I got all those mixed medias, I've been able to like flip some of it, but a lot of it is like almost worth more to me to keep to cut for collage pieces. So I don't know. I've been working through it and I have this bin in the garage. There's another bin full, but I really think I'm just gonna push that off as is. Like I don't know. I can't really use those for collage pieces. They're like super cycles for anyone that knows what that is. And easy riders, there's people for them, so that's why I want to push them to that. But I don't want to. I'm not gonna cut those up for collage pieces. There's like surprises everywhere. What? Danka, I mean, you've survived a little while saying random things, but how old are you, actually? Because I've let it slide, but I think it's time that you go to the DDJ. No, I can see why people pause and wonder if it's a sales pitch. I thought different. Oh, wow. You're done forever, dude. I should have read the next comment. I mean, who are you to judge me? Like, look at your fucking profile picture, you know? I would much rather take, like, a beach with a tree in the back or even, like, toes or something, you know? So it makes me question how the hell you survived in here so long being a jit, you know? The Sayonara, to the DGJ, you go. Oh. Is that true, Harchaz? I have a few people in here where their moms have gained their angel wings. And I know that's never easy. I don't know if you were close with your mom, and even if you aren't, it's still always like your mom, you know? They gave you life. So much healing your way. Hope you look for the signs and don't look past them. No, I don't know what the comment was about, but he's done. Am I here for a while? I'll be here a while. Who knows that song? Come on now. Name the artist. Coming from me, I suck at names, but I do know that artist. No, I don't know how long I'll be here. I definitely need to get some cutting done. So I was like, I'll throw it on the live, see what's popping. I was already on live, so I was like, I'll just run it out. The phone's dying soon. I'm charging the iPad, so maybe I'll switch it over, leave it, cut some papers, roll with the flow, see where my peeps at. Enjoy your cappuccino. I remember when I worked at Starbucks, there was a lady that would get an extra dry cappuccino. And she would like weigh it. She was stickler. Like she would weigh it and she would like put it on like the bar. She was a little nasty with it. I ended up becoming cool with her because I was like, what the F is your deal with this cappuccino stuff? Like I get you want it to be good, but you're really rubbing everyone the wrong way with this like weighing shit and like the looks and the anger behind it. But coffee could be a make or break moment for a day, you know? You should be making it, not breaking it. But she was definitely riled up. Riled up. I'll never forget her. Never. There are a couple, like, I have Starbucks stories for days. Like, I met all kinds of creatures. I remember one guy said he was the president. He was definitely a character. I hate to say the word homeless though, because some of these people don't view it even as that. They're just living their life, you know. They're not going to fall under society's rules. But he was considered homeless, but he said he was like the president of this country and he would tell stories. But when he would come in, I mean, a lot of us would like pay for their stuff because that's just what we kind of did. It was like this unspoken thing. And some of them would abuse it, you know. And if we're if we're like not gonna sell something, the Starbucks got rid of a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things, but anyways, the president of this country, I don't even remember what country it was, but whatever. He would wear these crazy shirts, but he would come in and he would attempt to pay for his stuff. And sometimes he had the money, sometimes he didn't. But we still wouldn't take his money, and he would tip it though. And it just said a lot to me for like his circumstances, like, and he would have these detailed stories, you know. You could tell it wasn't all there, but it was interesting how intense these stories were. And once again, just showing that he would be willing to pay. He wasn't like a moocher. Some of them were. One bitch tried to cast a spell on me, and my manager was like, "Get to the back, get to the back." It was some wild shit. And I was nice to her. And I mean, you should be, but I was nice to her, and she just like 0 to 100. It was like a switch went off. And I remember she like walked away. She was sitting at the bar one night, and she walked away and she left her book on the table. But she was coming back, but I was like cleaning the bar or whatever, and I just looked at the title of the book, and it was some fucking Satan book, and I was like, oh my good lord. And I was like, let me get away. But she just like she started getting meaner and meaner, and she used and abused this one guy at Starbucks. Like he literally offered to give her a ride to her hotel. There was no hotel. He drove her around. He's so nice. He was too nice of a guy, but he was a little asshole too. It was confusing, but I understand where people are at, kind of. I try to, you know, so that way I just like, we just keep getting things done where we need to, and I know that you do this, and then you know I do this and this, you know. But he Drove her around for like a couple hours. He came back the next day and he was like, oh my God, you don't even know what I went through. And I was like, well, where'd you end up dropping her? He said, fucking McDonald's. And McDonald's was like right next to us. And I was like, oh man, she had him driving all over the place. Crazy. It was wild. That's just like little stories. Anyways. No, I don't know what he meant, but who cares, you know? He said a couple things here and there, and it wasn't like, it didn't seem bad. Maybe I wasn't really reading it because I was trying to catch up in the chat and stuff. But now you're just toast. Like, DDJ for life. Thanks, Jeffrey. Peace to you, too. What's siesta? Yeah, you have to ask for dry, otherwise it's not going to be dry. And honestly, a lot of people don't know how to perfect the phone, like not to be a snob, but it took me a while too, and those snobby customers taught me because I was like, you ain't going to tell me I can't do something. Hold up. But there is a difference, you know, like I never want to ride like the coattail of an asshole, but there is a difference. And if you are paying, this is when I worked there in like 2011 to like 13, maybe 14. I worked there for, I think 4 years, like 3.5, at least 4 years. I don't remember exactly. But anyways, that was when the coffees were way cheaper, and Starbucks had put a hike up at that point, and people were complaining, and especially the people that got just the plain Joe, complaining, and then they started the Starbucks reward program. They didn't even have that, like, and if they did, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure we launched it because I remember it being like a big deal. But they were always launching all kinds of stuff. Some things hit, some things don't, you know. But I honestly wish I would have invested into stocks at least, but I was a kid and I didn't really know and understand all of that. Still don't exactly know either, but I should have invested into some stocks, but I think it's changed now. Back to my main point, for anyone that's still listening, coffees are expensive. I feel blessed that I had those skills like pumped into me. I went to one of my old coffee shops a couple days back, and one of the people I knew before I was there still, and they were like, oh, something about they still want to be there because it's like an easier job, like they wish they were still making more money, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, honestly, you'll die with these recipes in your head, and like you're forever, once you're a barista, you're forever a barista, like. But I think it's a good skill set to have because, back to my original point, drinks are really expensive and they're so easy to make. Like, I should have a coffee course on here. I really should. How to stop buying coffee and do it yourself. A lot of thing is time, and people will say it's time, it's easy, it's convenient. And I'm like, yeah, but you could have still saved so much more time and money at home. You need to have a good espresso machine or a coffee maker, but it all depends on preference, like personal preference. I got a $7 espresso machine, and that shit is fire. Literally, it's like plum something, but it's like not $7 originally by far. You can find them and thrift them. This thing was brand new. What they ended up doing, they ended up putting air in the pump because whoever didn't think they needed water when they made the coffee, whatever. I'm not going to talk about it. So they didn't put water into the machine and ran it, and they put air into the line. So you take the air out of the line, and it literally worked, and it had never been ran. Like, they had never even made a cup of coffee on this thing. Phenomenal. Super phenomenal. And it came with a couple little trinkets, too. So that was, like, one of the best finds I found. But even then, I had a little Cafe Bella or something, and that thing has rode to the end. It was nuts. Like, I've been through a lot with that one, and you have to be on it because it literally could overheat. But it would make some good coffee. I'd been through it with it, but I didn't want to buy another one. It wasn't like worth it for me to buy another one of those. Maybe they have different like styles now, but whatever. As soon as I got the other espresso machine, I was like, maybe it is time for like an upgrade, you know? Um, and I bargained it. I mean, I got it at a bargain, so that's like an extra perk for sure. But I was like, all right. I tested the other one and it didn't work because I had air in the line, right? And I'm like, what the hell? Was able to figure out the air stuff, had it working, got it working. But during that day, I was like, all right, I'm going to go plug back in the Bella and go ahead and get a coffee out of it. Tell me how that shit wouldn't work. I was like, wow, it's like shunning me. It was literally like, you want to throw me away? I didn't throw it away. I still have it just in case. Because I still love that little machine. But it wouldn't work. And I was like, what? I was like, crazy. But I got the other one to work, so it was fine. But still. Yeah, go for the brew. I was sitting there yapping away. I'm like, speaking of brew, I'm going to get some coffee and some water. Some water for my cuppa. I actually think that I'm going to restart the live on my other phone since this one's dying. So, BRB.